Alright guys, so today's video is on my top 5 true wireless earbuds under $100. I've had a lot of people request these, and it's getting to the end of the year, which is when I like to do my top list videos anyway. But do keep in mind that this is my favorites. It doesn't mean that I've tried every pair out there, and it doesn't mean that this is the best of the best. This is just my favorite that are under $100. Now these are also not full-on reviews, so if you're interested in purchasing these or checking out the full-on reviews, I will have all of that info in the description. But to save on time, since we have 5 earbuds to get to, let's go ahead and jump into number 5. Now number 5 is the Earphone Free Pro 2. Now this pair normally comes in at about 80 bucks, but right now and almost throughout the holidays, it's been listed at around 60. So I think that's really good value for a pair that has very impressive noise canceling. It has a very impressive ambient mode, and most earbuds that I've found under $100 that claim to have noise canceling generally is not doing too much. So it's nice to come across a pair like this where you feel like it is actually blocking out a lot of your surroundings. Now, some other features that makes this pair stand out is it does have Bluetooth 5.2. It has an ultra low latency mode, so this is one of those that's really good for watching movies and videos and gaming and not have to worry so much about having any kind of lag. Now, if you are wanting to use a pair like this outdoors, it does come in rated at IPX5. So although it's not completely waterproof, it is going to do a good job against splashes and rain and sweat and things like that. And this pair also has ear hooks. So it's one of those that stays in your ears very well. So if you are going to be outdoors doing something active, it's not going to move around or fall out as easily. Now, as far as the microphones on here, Earphone decided to use 6 microphones total, and I feel like this is one of the better microphones on a pair of earbuds. I felt like it picked up my voice really well during phone calls. And also with this pair, you're getting a Qi wireless charging case, so you can just drop this case on any wireless charger, so you don't actually have to keep up with an extra charging cable. And speaking of the charging, the battery life I felt like was decent, because on a single charge, if you're going to use these with the noise canceling off, you can get 6 hours on the earbuds and around 30 hours using the case. But if you do decide to just use these with the noise canceling on, you're still going to get around 4 hours on the earbuds and around 20 hours using the case. And this is one of those pairs that if you do happen to pick them up and they are dead, a quick 10-minute charge will get you 2 hours of use. But the reason that this one's even on my list is I feel like the sound of these is fantastic. This is something that Earphone has done a really good job with on their other pairs, and I felt like with this pair it had really good thump in the low end, but I felt like there was a lot of focus on the treble and the mids. It just seemed as though you could hear a lot of characteristics in vocalists, you could hear a lot of details in instruments, and everything just had a nice bright sound to it, but having that really punchy low end just made it have a really good dynamic sound. Now it also has a fairly open sound signature, so it's not one of those that felt closed in, and it was just fun to listen to across all genres. And that's why I put the Earphone Free Pro 2s in at number 5. Now number 4 on the list isn't necessarily a new earbud, but because of a new earbud, that is the reason you can now pick these up for under $100. And the pair that I'm talking about is the Soundcore Liberty 2 Pros. Now this one used to retail, I think, for 130 or maybe even 140 bucks. But since the Liberty 3 Pros came out, you can now pick these up for 99 bucks. And at $99, even though this isn't a new pair, it is an excellent value because of all of the features and the sound quality that you're getting. Because these are using very strong 11mm dynamic drivers mixed with Knowles balanced armature drivers. So it's one of those where you have that really powerful dynamic driver to handle the bass, but it's also allowing the Knowles balanced armature drivers to handle your mids and highs. It basically keeps everything separated so you don't have that congested sound. And this is a very open sounding earbud, but the huge plus is it works with Soundcore's app where there's tons of different EQ options. Although I still think that the EQ setting that it has out of the box is the best. I think Soundcore already has a very good sound. It also has the Hear ID feature, so you can go through and do a kind of like a hearing test so that it sets up sound the way that it thinks that you want to hear it. Now this pair also has a Qi wireless charging case, and the battery life on these are definitely impressive because you can get 8 hours on the earbuds with around 32 hours using the case. And this is another one of those pairs that has the fast charge feature. So a 10-minute charge on these will get you 2 hours of use. And again, this is one of those pairs that's just held up since its release. It's been continuously updated, and it just matches a lot of the newer earbuds that are coming out. And being able to get this for under $100 is why I put the Liberty 2 Pros in at number 4. So number 3 on the list is the newest earbuds from Sony, and that's the Sony WF C500s. Now this is a $100 pair of earbuds that's been on sale throughout the holidays for around 68 bucks. But the reason I like these so much is I found that it's essentially like having the Sony WF-1000X M4s, just without the noise canceling. Now, I don't think it sounds identical. It shares a lot of the same features when it comes to the sound. So of course, in typical Sony fashion, it has that really thick, punchy bass, but it does have a very bright and clean treble. The mid-range in these I thought sounded very good. I felt like vocalists definitely had that upfront sound, but one of the main selling points with this pair is it works with Sony's app. And Sony's app, in my opinion, is definitely one of the best out there because it gives you so much control over the sound. It also has that DSEE feature where it's upscaling your audio, so you don't have to worry so much about compression. And this pair also has the 360 audio that Sony uses in a lot of their other high-end headphones and earbuds. So I feel like you're getting a lot of the same features. If you don't think noise canceling is that important to you, I definitely recommend picking this pair up over the WF-1000X M4s. But you do have to also realize that this pair doesn't have Qi wireless charging. So if that's something that you want, you do have to sacrifice this with the price as well. But the battery life on these are fantastic. I mean, you won't be charging these that often because you get 10 hours on a single charge and about 20 hours using the case. Now, I still feel like they could have given you a little bit more battery life out of the case, but that 10 hours on a single charge is really hard to beat. And this pair also has a fast charge feature, although it's not as good as the other two that I've listed, but a quick 10-minute charge will get you an hour's worth of use. But it is definitely the sound that makes this pair stand out, and that's why I put the Sony WF C500s in at number 3. Now, number 2 on the list has been one of my favorites throughout the year. In fact, I think it even came out over a year ago, and that's the Soundpeas T2s. Now, this is one of those pairs that's already not close to $100 because it comes in at 66 bucks, but it's been on sale quite a bit throughout the holidays for under 50. So this one just has a lot more value compared to some of the others. Because it has some of the best noise canceling that I've heard under 100 bucks. I mean, even comparing it to more expensive models, it gets you kind of close, but the price tag just isn't as close to the Sony or the Bose. So I feel like they're giving you a lot for your money. And not only that, you're still getting some of the best battery life that I've seen. It's very comparable to the Sonys that I just talked about, because on the earbuds themselves, you're going to get around 10 hours, but with the charging case, you're going to get around 30 hours total. So you actually get more battery life using the charging case on these than you do the Sonys, and you're getting the same battery life as the Sonys on the earbuds themselves. Now, this is with the noise canceling turned off, but even with the noise canceling turned on, you're still going to get about 8 hours on the earbuds and around 24 hours using the case. And that's some of the best battery life that I've seen on a pair that has active noise canceling. So if ANC is important to you, if you're looking for earbuds, it's gonna be hard to top these and get the same kind of battery life that these have. But just like with other pairs, the main reason that they're on my list is the sound that these have. They're using 12mm drivers, which is really large for a pair of earbuds. But what makes this pair special is how airy and spacious they sound. Because I'm one of those that, yes, I do like a dynamic sounding earbud. I do like a really thumping bass. I like to have a lot of clarity in my treble. And I do like my mids pushed forward so that I can hear vocalists really well. But what's more important than anything is having that open sound. I just like to feel like everything is spread out and it's just easy to tell where things are coming from. And this has been one of those pairs that I've been very impressed with. And again, being able to get them for under 50 bucks most of the time just makes this pair hard to beat. And that's why I put these Soundpeas T2s in at number 2. So now to number 1 on the list. And number 1 is kind of a surprise that I even put them in at number 1, and that's the brand new Palm Buds Pro. And the reason I say it's a surprise is I'm generally not a fan of stem style earbuds. I also don't like it when a pair doesn't give you volume control, which this pair doesn't have. And this pair also doesn't have Qi wireless charging, which is also a very important feature to me. But the reason that I put these on the list is it's kind of hard to overlook that it has some of the best active noise canceling and, in my opinion, the best sound in a pair that's under $100. I think the sound is just so hard to beat, and that's also impressive because this pair doesn't work with an app, so it doesn't have any EQ options. You're just kind of stuck with the sound that it has out of the box. But luckily that sound is very open, it's dynamic, so it has that slightly warmer sound because it does have a nice strong low end to it. But the mids I felt like were some of the best that I've heard under $100, and same thing with the treble. It's just a very detailed earbud that doesn't skimp out on anything when it comes to sound. Now, when it comes to anything else, I felt like the mics on these were also some of the best that I've heard in earbuds. So if using your earbuds for phone calls is important, this is easily a pair that I recommend for that. Now, the battery life is definitely not the best, especially compared to some of these others, because if you use these with the noise canceling turned off, you're only going to get about 6 hours on the earbuds, with around 24 hours using the case. Where if you do use these with the noise canceling on, you're only going to get around 4.5 hours on the earbuds and around 18 hours using the case. So if that doesn't prove anything that sound is the most important thing to me, this pair lacks a lot of features that I know is important to a lot of people. But the sound signature that these have, and just being able to go through all different genres and feel like I'm getting the best that I can under $100, mixed with some very impressive active noise canceling, that's why I put the Palm Buds Pro in at number 1. But guys, that wraps up my top 5 true wireless earbuds under $100 video. It's, again, been another year where a lot of companies are proving that you don't have to spend $200 to $300 to get the best out there. There's some very solid choices under $100. Just like with the other video, I also proved there's some really solid choices under $50. So just know you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get some of the features you're looking for. And if you just want some of the best sounding earbuds, there are some excellent options out there that's not gonna cost you an arm and a leg. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.